Hello and welcome to Rathods IAS Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see very important articles that appear in our today's newspaper. First of all, let us see important topics of the day, and later on we are going to analyze from both prelims and as well as mains point of view. And at last, I'll be giving you prelims practice questions so that you will understand how questions can be framed from that topic. Okay? Now, let us see the important topics. Your first topic it is about one important scheme called as PM-KISAN. Title says PM to release rupees 18,880 crore for farmers tomorrow. So this topic is talking about PM-KISAN scheme, and from that scheme you may get a prelims based question, and it is important from governance point of view from GS paper 2. And next topic is beyond depression and anxiety, how young Adivasis describe distress. This article is talking about mental health problems in tribal youth. And tribals are part of our society and they'll come under vulnerable sections of our society. So in your society and social justice, you will be studying about that tribals. And this topic is important from society and social justice and even from GS paper to under polity and governance also, we have to see this topic. And next topic is lopsided solution in India. Regulatory oversight for pharmaceuticals need to improve. So this article is talking about how and why we have to improve regulations on this pharmaceutical sector. In yesterday's class, we discussed about cough syrup. So this article is talking about that cough syrup. And this topic is important from your GS paper 2 under health. And next topic is NFHS 6 reveals progress amid nutrition challenges. In our yesterday's class, we discussed about what challenges which mainly given in this NFHS 6 survey, and we discussed about what are the recommendations. And now again, there is one article talking that yes, there is some positive data related to this National Family Health Survey, and here we have to see what is that positive data and what led to that improvement in our country. And next topic is what is Kerala's risk profile for Nipah. As you all know that there is Nipah outbreak in state of Kerala, and this article is talking about why, what is the reason why there is outbreak of Nipah in this Kerala. So this topic is important from science and technology from GS paper 3. So all these are the topics now you are going to see. Okay, read out this title guys. PM to release rupees 18,880 crore for farmers tomorrow. No need of remembering this number. Number you will not remember, and UPSC is not expecting you to write these numbers. Just here you have to focus on what is this PM-KISAN scheme is about. And every year remember guys, there will be 2 to 3 questions in your prelims paper related to the schemes. So how they will give the scheme? Consider the following statements regarding PM-KISAN scheme, and under that they may give you 2 to 3 statements and they will ask you to identify correct or incorrect. That is the first format. And second format here is they may club 3 to 4 schemes which are in news and they will give you a single question on that. Like they may give you in this way, consider the following statement, and they will give you 3 statements. One statement will be about a VBG Ramji, second statement is about PM-KISAN, and third statement is about PM Portion. Like that they may club schemes in one question. That is the second format. And third format here is they may give you pair based question. So how they will give you pair based question? Consider the following pairs. In one column they will be giving at least 3 to 4 schemes. And in the second column, what they'll give like which ministry is implementing that, or else what is the objective of that scheme. So like that, they'll give you 2 to 3 columns and they will ask you to identify how many are correct pairs or which are the correct pairs. So these are the 3 ways in which you can expect question from schemes. And for sure, there will be 2 questions, minimum 2 questions related to schemes. And in mains, you have governance. There also you may get question related to the scheme. If there is any scheme which is controversy or which is new, which is implemented by the government newly, or if there is any 10-year anniversary or 25 years anniversary or 20 years anniversary, you may get a question. Recently, you know that MG Narega scheme had been replaced with VBG Ramji. So, if that kind of things are there in news, UPSC can ask a question like, recently MG Narega scheme has been replaced by VBG Ramji scheme. In the light of this statement, what are the advantages of VBG Ramji scheme over MG Narega? And what are the challenges? So like that, UPSC can give you a mains based question. So if UPSC wants to give a question on this PM-KISAN, how it can give? Government launched PM-KISAN scheme to help farmers. Discuss features and challenges. Discuss features and advantages. Like that, UPSC can give you a question in mains related to this PM-KISAN scheme. So from scheme's point of view, what exactly you have to focus? First one is, what is that scheme? At least you have to know full form of that scheme. And next one here is aims and objectives. And remember this point, if in UPSC prelims, if they are giving statements, one statement will be pakka sure, that is aims and objectives. And that aims and objectives will be always correct. You cannot eliminate that aims and objectives in that question. You have to know aims and objectives. Next one is ministry. Which ministry is implementing that? And next one is whether it is center sector scheme or centrally sponsored scheme, you have to know. So these are the minimum 4 to 5 points that you have to know related to the scheme from prelims. From mains, you have to know in detail features, challenges, advantages. Okay, and if you want to suggest any measures, you have to keep that aside. Okay, now let us see some facts related to this PM-KISAN. Okay, first let us see the full form. PM is Pradhana Mantri. That is nothing but Prime Minister, right? Pradhana Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi. Kisan is nothing but Kisan Samman Nidhi. Kisan means farmer. That means this scheme is related to farmers or agriculture. And it is a central sector scheme. So how many types of schemes do we have? 2 types. Central sector scheme, centrally sponsored scheme. Central sector means 100% funds will be given by central government. Centrally sponsored scheme is nothing but central government will be giving some amount and state government has to share the remaining amount. That is centrally sponsored scheme. And it is central government, central sector scheme. That means central government is providing 100% funds for the farmers. Apart from this, even different states also have this kind of schemes related to farmers. In Telangana state, we have Raithu Bandhu scheme. Do you know this, right? Even in AP also, which scheme is there? Annadata Sukhi Bhava scheme is in AP. In the same lines, Odisha is also having this kind of scheme of providing financial incentive to farmers, that is Kalia scheme. So here there are like state is providing this kind of schemes and even central government is providing incentive for the farmers under this scheme. Okay, when it was launched in year 2008, it had been launched. And under this scheme, what exactly government is doing is, government is providing some amount of 6,000 rupees for 1 year. 1 year, 6,000 rupees government is providing as a financial assistance to all land holding farmer families. To all farmers who are having land on their name, they will be getting 6,000 rupees per annum. Okay, so what are the key features? The first one here is government will be providing how much amount? 6,000 rupees a year. And this 6,000 will be given in 3 installments. That is 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. 3 installments it will be given. And it is a direct benefit transfer. What is the meaning of direct benefit transfer? So they will be directly transferring money to their bank accounts. They are not going to give money through post office. Directly to your bank accounts, the money will be transferred. Okay, and next one is who are eligible for this scheme? All land holding farmer families will be eligible. Okay. And who is implementing this? Very important. It is implemented by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare is implementing this scheme. So all these are the important facts that you have to remember, guys. Okay, see this article, read out the title. Beyond depression and anxiety, how young Adivasis describe distress. What is this article talking about? Read this title and tell me what you understand by this. Online students, tell me in the comment box. So what is the meaning of this? Beyond depression and anxiety, how Adivasis describe. Adivasis means tribal people. So is this article talking about tribal youth or not? Okay. So actually, when we are comparing with this tribal youth and mainstream society, who is more disadvantaged? Tribal people, and they will face more number of problems compared to that of mainstream youth. So now tell me, what are the problems faced by this tribal youth? Lack of connectivity. Okay, next. Skills. Yes, they don't have proper skills. Next. Yes, discrimination based on caste. Okay, next. What are the problems faced by youth, tribal people? Next. Come on, guys. Do they have proper education facilities? Even healthcare is also not there. What about the burden of family? So in mainstream society, even 25 also, they will be dependent on their parents. But what about this tribal people? Till 25, will they depend? There will be burden of their family on them at a very younger age. Okay, now let us see this article. This article is saying that mental health problems, mental health remain primarily urban centric and from privileged socio-economic groups. So actually, wherever you go, youth are facing this problem of mental health illness. Why? Nowadays, if you see in urban areas, addicted to mobile phones, addicted to smoking, addicted to alcohol, addicted to drugs, and even there is increased pressure on them. Why? Because of expectations of family members. My son should be only IAS officer. They will start comparing with neighbor people. They got job. You're still sitting in home and eating. How are you eating? How are you getting digested? So all those questions, all these things will come normally in this society. So if you go to this people who are belonging to this Adivasi community, they will face much more problems compared to that of this mainstream society, especially youth. Why? Because family responsibilities begin at an early age. As soon as they completed 12 or 13 or maximum 14 years, they have to take care of their family. They have to accompany their parents in hunting and gathering. And even they have to raise their animals if they are from pastoralist community. So there is increased family responsibilities for this tribal youth at a very young age. And this one is they do not have proper financial security also. Do they get jobs? Because they do not have proper skills. And even there is no proper literacy in these tribal areas. So because of this, what happened? They do not have proper financial security. And what is their economic activity? They will go for hunting and gathering, or they'll go for pastoralism, or sometimes they'll go for shifting agriculture. Then what happened? Whatever the financial resources they have, they are very meager, very less. And sometimes what happened here is whatever the finances they have, that is not enough to satisfy their basic needs. For example, even clothing, school cost is very difficult to meet also. Okay, and next one here is, this article is saying that, so government has to take some steps so that we can use this youth and we can make them part of economic development. So how can we use those youth? They said that we have to strengthen this community spaces and we have to reduce socio-economic discrimination on this people. And next one is we have to come up education in the local languages. Why? Because tribals have their own tribal language. So they cannot be comfortable with mainstream language. So for that reason, to impart education and to develop skills in these people, we have to go for teaching them in their local language. And next one is we have to create the systems, okay, for their empowerment. So now you have to see about whatever the schemes came up by the government related to this ST people, you have to make a note of it. So government is, do you know this Kendriya Vidyalayas? Have you heard about this? Kendriya Vidyalayas are for, they are residential schools for mainly for ST. And even they will be giving admissions for other people also. But very less seats are provided outside this ST. And this one is government is also providing scholarship for this STs. And not only that, government is providing reservation. And even reservation is there in our article also in Fundamental Rights, 15 subclass 4, which talks about providing of reservation for this SCs and STs in schools and also in employment opportunities. Okay, now you have to find out like what can be done extra so that we can ensure the empowerment of this tribal youth and how can we decrease this mental pressure on this people. Okay. See this article, guys. Lopsided solution. In India, regulatory oversight for pharmaceutical needs to improve. What is the meaning of this title? What exactly author wants to say? Any idea? Come on, squeeze from this title. Lopsided solution. I'll give you a hint. Hint is in yesterday's class what we discussed. Cough syrup should not be dispensed without any prescription. Okay, now link that and read the title and connect it. What exactly this article is going to say. Okay, so actually this article is saying that recently our government gave one statement that cough syrup should not be given without prescription. So it is not a solution for this problem. Okay, apart from this, we have to improve regulatory oversight. Okay, so now you guys tell me what are the problems are there in our pharmaceutical sector. No products. Next, using hazardous chemicals or substandard products. Next, come on, think you can do it. No, no prices, low prices. Okay, selling expired products. Okay. Okay, here what exactly you have to say is what are the problems in our pharmaceutical sector, and next one is way forward. That is the only thing that you have to know here. In yesterday's class we discussed, and one more thing here is in yesterday's class we discussed about Drugs and Cosmetic Act of 1940, which will be dealing with the schedules and selling of the products. And apart from this, we have to see about quality. Quality, there is one more organization you have to see. Okay, so please make note of all those things which I am going to tell now. Okay, if you see this article, what is yesterday's news that we discussed? Union Health Ministry gave a notification. What is that notification? With doctor's prescription only, that medical shops has to sell this cough syrups. Okay, so for that reason, what change they did? They did changes in Drugs and Cosmetics Act of 1940. That is the thing we discussed, right? Okay, so now we removed that from Schedule K and we moved it into Schedule H. In yesterday's class, I said about the Schedule H drugs are to be given only on prescription. So earlier, this cough syrup is under Schedule K. Now we moved under it, Schedule H. If you don't remember that, leave it. So as of now, what you have to remember, so Government of India made some changes in Drugs and Cosmetics Act, and now with prescription only we can get this cough syrup from this pharmacies or medical shops. Okay, so only for cough syrups which is having that to codeine. No, only for cough syrups involving Indian made cough syrups. Okay. Next here, one more thing. Why? What is the reason? Recently, incident happened in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. More than 200 children they died. And it's not for the first time. Even in Africa also, whatever the cough syrup we are exporting to Africa, in Gambia, Uzbekistan, and even Cameroon, so there were more than 300 children they died. So what is the contaminant? Diethylene glycol. So where we'll use this diethylene glycol? In braking field, in the brakes in the vehicles, we will use this diethylene glycol. But why we are using in the pharmacies? It is like colorless, it is sweet, and it is cheap. So we are mixing it with that, so that whatever the components we are adding, that will be soluble in this cough syrup. Okay. So now why this step taken by the government is to curb self-medication. So if children are getting cough, what we'll do? We'll go to simply medical shop, we'll get that syrup. So here we are trying to prevent this self-medication. What is the reason? Mostly, if have you ever observed, after taking the citrizine, you'll get full sleep. And if someone is waking you up also, sometimes you may not come out of that. And even if you drink this cough syrup also, you'll get sleep. Have you ever observed? So why? Because to soothe your throat, and because of cough you will not get sleep, right? So for that they will be adding codeine. Codeine is a sedative which will be there in this cough syrup. So what happens? Slowly, if we are using that cough syrup for long term, what happens? Our baby will be getting habituated or addicted to this codeine. Sometimes without this cough syrup they won't sleep also. That kind of symptoms we can see in the children. And not only that, nowadays what is happening, youth, they are using this kind of cough syrups in making of cocktails. So because of this, what is happening? Irrational use of cough syrups is happening in the market because it is cheaply available. Like what is the price of this cough syrup? It will be like 50 to 70 max, right? And they are using in cocktails. So because of this, what happens? It will be having impact on the youth health also, and even children health also. So because of this, only with the doctor prescription, now we have to get this cough syrup because of this codeine, which is a sedative, which is going to have addiction impact in the children. Clear? Okay. Now if you see about current regulatory framework in our country, you know about Drugs and Cosmetic Act, which will be dealing with the dispensing of drugs, selling of drugs, exporting of drugs. And now you have to know about one more thing, that is CDSCO. Full form is Central Drug Standard Control Organization. What it will do? It will give licenses for the pharmaceutical company, and after giving license, that company will start producing drugs. So for that they will go for inspections, and as well as they will set the standards, like which kind of products they have to produce. And even they will tell about imports, exports, new drug approvals, everything will be done by CDSCO. So in our country, related to pharmaceuticals, you have to remember two things. First one is CDSCO, that is Central Drug Standard Control Organization. Next one is Drugs and Cosmetics Act. Okay, now we made changes in this Drugs and Cosmetics Act. Okay, what are the issues in our pharmaceuticals sector here is, first one here is, we have dual structure. We have central CDSCO and we have state authorities. So even if CDSCO is giving proper set of standards, this is not implemented in the state levels, because of at the state level, at the central level we have one organization, in state level we have one organization, that is changing from one state to another state, From one state to another state, the diseases are different, and even people's compatibility with the drugs will be different. So because of this, what is happening here? Because of this dual structure, we are not having proper standards. Because of this, there is poor coordination between central and state government, and there is no proper enforcement of laws. That is the first important problem. And next one is we have shortage of drug inspectors. I think you might have heard about drug inspectors. They will be inspecting this pharmaceutical shops, especially pharmacies. They will go and they will check if they are selling this expired drugs or not. Especially after completion of this B pharmacy, they are eligible to write this examination. Okay, so we are having a problem of shortage of inspectors, and there is lack of enforcement of laws. And next one here is there is no proper compliance in our country. So even though after giving this setting of standards, like you have to mix this and the concentration should be this much, we should add less salt, we should add less sugar. Even Nestle products like Nestle, Cerelac, have you heard this? And nowadays we are giving that for the people who start their solid foods after 6 months. So even in that Nestle, there is very high amount of sugar. That is whatever the approved sugar is there, beyond that there is extra sugar. And even everyone knows Maggi. Maggi is nothing but mix of maida plus extra salt plus palm oil. Actually, it is not good for health, but we want that kind of junk food, right? Okay, so see here, whatever the standards are there, we are not following that standards. That is called as non-compliance of good manufacturing products or good manufacturing practices we are not having in our country. So because of this, what happened frequently, this kind of contamination, mixing of substandard things can happen in our country. And next one here is there is inadequate testing of raw materials. And here you have to remember one thing, guys. If you want to make any medicine, we need API. Okay, we need API. API is nothing but active pharmaceutical ingredient, which is the main ingredient. For example, if you want to cook a pulao, we need rice. Rice is a major ingredient. If there is no rice, can we cook this pulao or biryani? In the same way, in the medicine, if you are taking any tablet for fever, if you are taking any tablet for body pains, paracetamol and aceclofenac is a major component. So this kind of major components are not produced in India. So this major components will come from which country? China. From China we'll get this major component, and what our pharmaceutical industries will do is add other things and they will punch the tablets and they will sell. Okay, so whatever the products you are getting from China, that's nothing but raw materials. Sometimes you will not go for proper testing of that also. So if you're not going for testing of that raw materials, obviously what happens? Our medicine quality will be affected. And next one here is there is no proper traceability system. For example, from the pharmaceutical company, we loaded a vehicle with medicines and it is going to other states. Are we tracking this vehicle where it is getting stopped? We don't know. In between, the replacement of medicine can happen. I think you might have seen this Shankar Dada MBBS movie. In that movie, they will be showing like how they are manufacturing substandard goods by the doctors of that hospital itself. Because of this problem only, this kind of replacement of drugs can happen in this transportation. Who knows what happens? Yes, that is also one problem. And next one here is there is no proper audit trails and there is inadequate computerized system. If you go to other countries like Australia or US, whatever it may be, so they will pharmacies or like medical shops, they will not give a single tablet also without prescription. And with your name, they will maintain the records like which tablets you are taking and who is consuming it and what is the dose. And when you have purchased that last drug, everything will be there in a computerized format. Do India have that? We don't know who will take that medicines, who will consume that medicines, and when they will take medicines, whether there is overdose of medicine is happening or whether it is underdose is happening, whether you are taking correct dose or not. No one knows. That is also one important problem in India that may leads to this overdose or underdose that will be having health impacts on the people. Clear? Okay, what is the way forward? Then what can be done? The first one is we can increase number of inspectors so that regular checks can be done in this pharmacies. And next one is there is a proper coordination between CDS, CO and state. And next one is we have to properly control the production in this MSMEs of pharmaceutical sector. And you know that drugs will be made in batch wise. Do you know that? If you take any syrup bottle, or if you take any medicine or any strip tablet, they will be having batch number also. What is a batch? Normally they will produce in bulk. For example, to make you understand, in summer, in our homes, we'll make lemon juice or mango juice or something, refreshment drinks. For example, if we made 10 glasses, will we make single glass? We'll make how many members are there? We'll count the members and we will make once and we'll consume it. Suddenly, if there are any outsiders or relatives came, and again you will make one more batch, right? So here what batch means nothing but we will produce normally in the bulk amount, not in small amount. So we have to take medicine from that one batch and we have to test it separately. So that we have to do for in the batch wises. Normally, if you take big pharmaceutical companies, they will make in a batch like 1,000 syrup bottles in one batch. So we have to select the batch number and from that batch we have to take one syrup and we have to test it. So if you are testing one bottle in one batch is more than enough to understand the quality of that entire batch. Okay. So we have to go for batch wise testing. And next one is we have to implement nationwide track and trace system so that we can understand where that vehicle had been stopped, how much time it had been stopped, is there any contamination happened at that site, we can estimate. And next one is we have to publish inspection reports to data, inspection report data especially publicly in websites so that people can also understand what happened, where the mistake had been done, everything. And next one is we have to ensure uniform quality standards throughout our country. Okay. And we have to maintain proper export quality also of that medicine. So these are the measures we can take to ensure pharmaceutical sector is safe in our country. Okay, see this article guys. NFHS 6 reveals progress amid nutrition challenges. In yesterday's class, we discussed the numbers we are using as headlines. And in yesterday's class, we discussed about the recommendations given by the author, right? And now this article is talking about again positive thing related to National Family Health Survey 6. And it is saying like, yes, we are having nutrition challenges even though we are performing well. So here you have to see what is the data and you have to see what are the reasons why we are performing really well in that areas. Okay, first one here is stunting. Stunting among children under 5 years declined. Okay, if you are comparing with National Family Health Survey 5 and 6 data, in 5 it is like 35%, in 6 it is 29%. Stunting means height of the babies is less compared to that of age. Okay, height is less. So now we decreased that problem of stunting. Next one is wasting. Wasting means to the height, they have to maintain certain weight. If they're not maintaining weight, what happens? Sometimes they will be like cylinder. We'll be calling that no, normal in some movies will say cylinder vachadu. So that means height is low but weight is more. Some people height is very high, they will be like very thin. So here that is called as wasting. If they are not maintaining proper body weight according to their height, then that is called as wasting. So here wasting also had been dropped in our country. There is a second highlight. And this one is underweight. In this under 5-year children also had been declined from 32 to 31%. And next one here is there is also initiation of breastfeeding. Breastfeeding also improved in our country from 41 to 50%. But one problem here is exclusive breastfeeding rate. That means normally after once the birth of the baby happens, so mothers are giving or feeding their babies with their breast milk. But if you see exclusive breastfeeding rate, that means only your normal, if you go to rural areas, till 1 year also or 1.5 year also, mother will be feeding their baby with their breast milk. But is that the same condition in urban areas? No. In urban areas, what is happening here? Mother will be going for work. So because of this, what happened? They have to search for other alternatives for their breast milk. Now, you know, in urban areas, we have different milk powders which are readily available in the pharmacies, and you're going for that. Or else, you know, Cerelac, like that, as soon as 5 months is completed, from 6 months onwards, baby will be ready for the solid foods. Yes, do you know this Annaprasana? So that will be done at the age of 6 months. From that time onwards, yes, they can rely on solid food slowly. Okay, so here exclusive breastfeeding rate had been reduced in our country. That is from 63 to 55%. Okay. And next, the problem which is there in our country is overweight, obesity is increasing, and even anemia is also increasing. So these are the highlights of this National Family Health Survey. So now what are the reasons for the improvement here is government came up with a program called as Poshan Abhiyan. Under this Poshan Abhiyan, do you know this Anganwadi centers? Yes, Anganwadi centers will be providing food for pregnant women. And especially in this state of Telangana, during this KCR, there was one scheme called as KCR related one kit they gave. In that kit, they provided ghee. Actually, I missed that kit. Because of that, I can remember that. In that kit, they gave one of my colleague, she got that kit, and many of our relatives got that kit, but they didn't give the kit to me. So because of that, I remember that. What were there in that kit was like jaggery, dates, ghee, half kg ghee bottle, and some supplements, iron supplements, I guess. So all these are there in that kit, and they provided 2 kits in their entire pregnancy. Not 1, 2 kits. I lost my 2 kits. Okay, so one at the 3 months of pregnancy and one is at 6 months of pregnancy. They used to give that kit. So under this Poshan program also, you know, afternoon they will be giving 1 boiled egg and milk packet and even dal rice for pregnant women if they go to Anganwadi center. Normally we will not go daily, but what happened weekly once or after every 10 days, pregnant woman can go and she can bring that ration to her to her home and she can eat. So like that government is providing this Poshan Abhiyan. And next one here is, you know about this Anganwadi centers, they will be providing daily 1 egg for the kids. Again, government will be providing some powder, millets powder, Badipindi antar. Do you know this? Balamrutam. Like that, they are providing some nutrition and even some chickies. Okay, that is under the Saksham Anganwadi program. Government is providing that for the children. And next one is Poshan 2.0. It is integrating pregnant women, lactating women and children. Okay, so like that, government is providing proper healthcare services for pregnant, lactating and children who are below 5 years of age. So because of this, we are improving health outcomes in this pregnant women, lactating women and children. And next one here is government is providing antenatal care also. Antenatal care is nothing but every month on 9th. Remember the date, every month on 9th, if you go to government hospital, that day is dedicated for pregnant women only for pregnant women and the women who had delivered their baby. So government will be providing special care for them on 9th of every month, and that scheme name is Pradhan Mantri Matritva Yojana. Okay, so through that scheme, obviously, we are improving this health in this woman. Okay, so because of that care, now there is increasing of institutional deliveries and even immunization. Normally during the pregnancy time also, they'll give vaccines for the women like TT injections, some vaccines they'll give. So there is increased immunization. And even after delivering of baby also, children will be getting vaccination under this government hospitals. And next one here is there is decline of exclusive breastfeeding because of changing of lifestyle and increasing of women participation in economy and even inadequate lactation support. If woman is a working woman, if she is not having proper facility to feed their baby, obviously they will not feed. So they'll go for other alternatives. And even we have different marketing formulas for children like milk powder, and even what I said, Cerelac, some nutrition that is available outside. So because of available of that, obviously mother will be going to that. Even I did all those things. So yeah. So even today also, recently my kids completed their 3 years. Even though now also I will not give outside milk. Even today also I will take that milk powder and I will be giving that because milk is one of the most adulterated food in Hyderabad. You know that they will mix urea, shampoo, palm oil, whatever it may be. I don't want to give poison for my kids from now. So even today also I will be giving that. And the packet will be like 400 grams. It will be more than 920 rupees. Just 400 grams. And it will be enough not only, it will be like consumed within 2 to 3 days. In 2 to 3 days, one dabba will be kali. And my children ate Cerelac like anything every 2 days, and they won't eat single flavor. They want different wide varieties of flavor in that also. Okay, so it was like too costly for me to feed my children. And entire whatever the money I'll get, I'll spend on diapers. I'll spend on this Cerelac and milk powder even till today from last 3 years onwards. This is my extra expenditure that I'll do. That's the only expenditure that I'll do. Okay, next one here is rising of overweight or obesity. Why there is rising of obesity or like overweight? Rapid urbanization and even junk food is available in the urban areas. And what is happening? So we are focusing on sedentary lifestyle. There is no proper physical exercise, getting up late, sleeping after late nights. So all these things will leads to hormonal imbalances in our body that leads to obesity. And next one is there is increased anemia, and even in some areas there will be spread of communicable diseases because of contamination of food and as well as water because of lack of sanitation. Poor water sanitation leads to infections in some areas. So these are the things that you have to remember, guys. And from health, for sure, you'll get 2 questions in your governance. See this next article, guys. What is Kerala's risk profile for Nipah? You know that there is outbreak of Nipah. Nipah is a viral infection caused by fruit bats. And there is no proper treatment, there is no vaccine. And fatality rate is very high. 40 to 60% of fatality rate. So here, now Kerala government is trying to contain this disease. So in this article, they are saying that they came up with the mapping of this bat roosting sites. You have to know what is this roosting sites. So have you ever seen there will be some big trees, and on these trees we can see huge number of bats. For the first time after my marriage, I went to a temple. We were going to a temple. In that route, there is one big tree. In Telugu, it is called as Marichattu, big tree. And that tree is appearing entirely black, not green, entirely black. I asked why this tree is black. Can't you see they are bats? My husband replied me that can't you see that those are not leaves, it is bats. At that time I didn't wear my spectacles, so I can't see. That is the thing. And he said that those are bats. Why all bats are there on that tree? So that was the first incident I came across that bat roosting site. Roosting site is nothing but the place where colonies of bats live, and they will go for next generation reproduction. Everything happens in that site. That is called as bat roosting site. Okay, so here to contain this Nipah, first of all we have to contain this fruit bat population. So for that reason, Kerala government went for mapping study of where are these bat roosting sites in Kerala. And unfortunately, they found that almost all roost are near this human habitats. So because of this, what is happening? There is increased risk of this disease. And what happens here is these bats are active during night times, not daytimes. During night times, they'll come and they will feed on mostly the fruits. So if there is any big tree in your home which is bearing fruits, they will come and they will eat that fruits. Not only eat that fruits, they will do all mess they want. They will drop the things, droplets. So if there is any contamination with that, droppings also can cause this Nipah virus. So because of this, now Kerala is more susceptible for this Nipah virus compared to that of other states. Okay, so that is the thing which mainly said here, nothing more than that. So here this article is saying that finally if you want to contain that or control this Nipah virus, so we have to ensure tertiary care levels, and we have to strengthen diagnostic and research capabilities, and we have to enhance control practices here. Okay, that is the thing guys, nothing more than that. So here you may get a question on Nipah virus. How UPSC can give a question? Consider the following statements regarding Nipah virus, and they may give you statements and they will ask you which of the above statements are correct. And apart from this Nipah virus, normally you will see other diseases also outbreak. You can see recently Ebola, right? So if there are any outbreaks like Nipah virus, they'll give the question in this way: consider the following pairs. On one side diseases, on another side caused by or vector, and they may ask you to identify how many of the above pairs are correct or incorrect. So in that way UPSC can ask you a question. Okay, so that is about this guys, and here you have to see what are the preventive measures we can take to control this Nipah virus. If in case after clearing this UPSC examination, if you get posting in Kerala, the first thing that you have to do is controlling of Nipah virus, and second will be Kerala will be having frequent floods. You have to think about how can you protect your people from floods. These two will be the major challenges for district collectors of Kerala. It is a practical thing actually. Okay, so for that reason, you have to use your technology knowledge, your advanced people, and you have to control this kind of things effectively compared to that of others. Okay, see this case. Practice questions. What happened? I did something. Okay, see here this question is on that lines. Consider the following pairs. On one side they gave disease, on one side they gave natural reservoir. And they asked how many of the above pairs are correctly matched. Nipah virus, fruit bats. Rabies, rodents. Rabies is caused by dogs. Rodent means rats. Next, Casanur forest disease is ticks. Okay, normally in forest we have different flies. They'll come and they will tick you, right? It is by ticks. So, what is the correct answer? For sure it is wrong. It is by dogs, you know. Answer will be, how many pairs are correct? B, only 2 pairs are correct. In this way, you may get a question. Here I added only two columns. They may add one more column here in UPSC. Okay. And see this next question, guys, with reference to PM-KISAN, consider the following statements. It is a central sector scheme. Financial assistance is transferred directly to Aadhaar-based bank accounts through DBT. Every eligible beneficiary receives 6,000 rupees annually in 3 equal installments. What is the answer? All are correct. So, answer will be D, 1, 2 and 3. So, in this way, you may get questions from schemes. And that's all, guys. By this, I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like this class, please do hit the like button and please do share this class to your friends. And if you have not yet been subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe, guys.